Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I've been absent for a long time, so I hope tonight goes well because I'm a little bit out of practice. But say hi in the comments. If you're new to my channel, make sure you type new so that I know you're new because I want to get to meet you. Let me know where you're from. Let me know what you guys are up to at the moment. Are you crafting? Are you getting ready for Christmas? What's going on? If you don't know who I am, my name is Paul. I'm Scissors Paper Paul on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube and kind of TikTok. And I'm here to share my Cricut product knowledge and expertise with you so that you can master these incredible machines, and ultimately we want you to make beautiful things. If you didn't know already, Cricut for Australians I'm an admin for, and on Thursday we normally go live at 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time now, and we just run through a project and hopefully teach you some new skills, and obviously you can interact with us and things like that. This week unfortunately I was a little bit delayed, so that's why I'm live tonight, but next week 7 p.m. you will have Natalie go live in the Cricut for Australians Facebook group. As I said, Thursday 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. She's actually going to be making a Christmas card. I will definitely be tuning into that one because she's really treading on my toes now. I am the king of cards, and how dare she? But no, I'm super excited to see what she comes up with. But tonight we are going to be doing a really cool project. We'll be working with bonded fabric. It's something that we don't see a lot in the pages and the groups on the socials, but it's a really fun way to customize things. And also, you know, if you're thinking about printed fabric, printed vinyls and things like that, maybe you can't find the vinyl that you really want or are in love with. So why not grab out that fabric stash and make your own? So I'll just jump into the comments and then we'll get started on what we're going to need tonight. Great to see all the familiar faces. Thanks everyone. Mrs. Happy's making 32 kindergarten graduation t-shirts for your twins class. Oh my goodness, that sounds amazing. I can't wait to see those. Hey Penny, thanks for joining. Great to see so many of you on. Hey Lynette from Adelaide. I was okay with the hailstorms actually. We've had some pretty wild weather here in Melbourne. Hey Abby, thank you. It's good to be back. Excellent. Great to see so many of you here. Again, if you've got any questions, just type them in the comments. Doesn't have to be Cricut bonded fabric related. It can be anything about Cricut, and I'll certainly help you as we go along. But let me just go to the twin or the overhead, the split camera. So I just want to show you what we're actually doing tonight. So this is actually a Cricut quilt, my first Cricut quilt that I made. So all of this was all cut out by the Cricut, and then obviously I sewed it together. And what it called for was these beautiful appliques. So this is a great thing for customizing projects, but also applique if you're into applique. Also, if you are into, maybe you want to patch something. So maybe the kids have got a hole in their jeans, you want to patch it with a nice little cute little shape or design. This is a really great way to do that. So as you can see here, the Cricut cut out these beautiful flowers with the insert, the center as well. And I just went round, I'll just go a bit closer. I just went round with a blanket stitch all the way around to just make sure that they're secured on. But as I applied them, I used this technique to just make sure that they were, lovely and stuck and adhered to the fabric. And that just enabled me to make sure that they wouldn't shift when I did my applique around them. But you don't need to do that because there are two products that I'm recommending that you use. These are available at Spotlight or your fabric store, haberdashery, or whatever you use. So they're both heat and bond, but there's two kinds. So there's the strong or the ultra hold. So this one doesn't necessarily need to be sewn on top of, okay? It's going to adhere really beautifully. In fact, it's on one of my son's cushions. I did a design. It's been on his bed. It's been, roughed up a million times. And it's still holding up. So that's 2 years. So that's still holding up. I think it's probably going to peel off pretty soon. But that's the Ultra Hold. So that's what we're using tonight. But there's also the, what do they call it, light. So the light one is designed to be sewn. So you can, again, you get that fixture, but you do want to sew around it or across it or, zigzag it, blanket stitch it, whatever you want to do. But you do want to sew this particular product. It's a little bit thinner as well, so it's made for the machines to go through the glue. It's not going to gunk up your machine or anything like that. You could sew over the Ultra as well, but that's what this one is actually for, the light. You may, if you are in your local Spotlight or haberdashery, they may have this on a roll. So you may actually be able to buy it by the meter or whatever increments that they sell it for, rather than buying it in the packages, because the packages they're not cheap, they're quite expensive. I can't remember exactly how much they are. I've had these for years, so they are, they last a very long time. But maybe just ask, in your Spotlight store, your haberdashery, what they have. So the way that the product works is just like paper. It's really papery. In fact, this is paper because that's actually protecting the other side, which is, I'll just hold it up, hopefully you can see that. It's really rough. And basically this is a glue. So when we heat this onto the fabric, the glue is going to go onto the fabric, and then once again when we put the fabric onto our blank, the glue is going to melt again, and that is going to adhere to the blank that we're applying it to. So we've got a heat and bond, and I've just cut it out bigger than my design. I've also got just a piece of cotton fabric. Okay, so just a little sort of pink with white polka dot fabric. You can see it's really flimsy. Hopefully you'll be able to see once we add the heat and bond that it actually does add a little bit of structure to your cotton fabric. But you can use this on other fabrics as well, denims. I think you can even use it on suede. It's all on the packages, but lots of different fabrics. It doesn't have to be cotton. So canvas, anything like that, you can use with this product. Of course, I've got my blank, and I just have this calico or this cotton bag that I've had lying in my stash for I don't know how long. I'm just going to make a little personalized bag for my niece tonight, but it's 100% cotton. Again, you can apply it to other sort of types of fabrics, but just check on the instructions on what you can use. But just a plain cotton bag. So again, I've used this on cushions, obviously my quilt, lots of different projects. So it's really, really flexible. I've got my Easy Press heating up here. I've got my Easy Press mat. I've got paper scissors to cut your heat and bond, and then I've got fabric scissors to cut my fabric. So I just cut these sort of, bigger than I know my project's going to be, and that way I know that I'm not going to have any, muck-ups or disasters. And we're going to make sure that the design cuts out really, really well. Off camera, you can't quite see, I'm using my Explore 3 tonight. So you can use any of the Explore series, any of the Maker machines. If you're using your Maker, you can absolutely use your fabric blade, your rotary blade as well. But I'm using just a standard blade tonight. So you can use this with just your everyday blade that comes standard with your machine. Couple of other things, obviously we've got our Cricut mat, and I'm just using a green one tonight. We do want to make sure it's lovely and sticky because we don't want that fabric to move when the blade is cutting. And I've just got some baking paper just from my kitchen, and you'll see me use this, and this is really just because we've got all of this glue. I don't want it potentially coming through the fabric and onto the plate of my Easy Press. Likewise, when we apply it to the bag, I'll put it on my Easy Press mat because I don't want any of that glue potentially to just seep down and through and onto my mat. So that's all that is, just a plain old baking paper. All right, so we'll pop that aside and we'll get ready. And I'll just move everything out of the way. I don't need my scissors now. I've also got my roller as well, so my Cricut brayer, and that I might just need that to help smooth out the fabric again, just to make sure we get a nice, beautiful cut when we come to doing that part. And I'm just going to check in the comments, and then we'll get started. It's going to be nice and quick tonight, but I'm going to show you the whole process from start to finish. Hey Erica, great to see you. Yep, you're saying that you can buy it by the roll or by the, by the meter, so it's much cheaper. Hey Linda, thank you for your kind words. I've missed you guys as well. Chris, don't worry if you're running late. If you're watching the replay, don't stress. You can watch this back. Gay has bought the mug press. Received my mugs, now trying to work out what to put on them. I know, it's so exciting. I've got to do all of my Christmas gifts, so hopefully I'll get onto that on the weekend. All right, so this is a really, really simple process, and we, as I say, we just don't see it in the group. I don't know why, but people, it's just not very popular. So hopefully you'll try this. If you do, please share it in all the groups. Please tag me on the socials if you, post it on Instagram and Facebook and things like that. Would love to see what you come up with. So first things first, we want to make sure that we have the right side of the fabric down because we're going to apply the glue to the back of the fabric. So make sure that you pay attention to that. Mine's quite light, so it would be easy to make that mistake. So I'm just going to turn this over. I'm going to take my heat and bond that I've cut out. Again, this is the Ultra. And I'm going to pop that into the middle of my fabric. It's a little bit creased, so I'm just going to unfold it. Creased is fine, doesn't matter. Now, this is so simple. So all we're going to do is do a couple of seconds over each part just to make sure that it adheres to the fabric. Super, super simple. So let's do that. My Easy Press is set to 305 Fahrenheit, which I think, if I hold this down, is 150 degrees Celsius. So however you craft, those are the temperatures. So I'm just going to grab my Easy Press, pop it on, 1000, 1000, 1000, 1000, 1000, 1000, 1000, 1000. All right, so we're done. Maybe just a little bit on the center, just for good luck. And that's how easy it is. So now we're just going to let this cool down. And then we'll move on to the cutting process. So yeah, it's a really quick application, and likewise when we put it onto our blank, we only apply the heat and bond for, we only apply the Easy Press for about 6 to 8 seconds, depending on the fabric. Obviously you don't need to use an Easy Press, you could use an iron for this as well. No steam, which the Easy Press is perfect for, but of course, with your iron as well, you do have those holes in there, so you've got hot and cold spots, so Easy Press, definitely the way to go. In fact, one thing I should mention is one idea I had about for this. I thought this would be a fabulous project if you were doing a memory quilt or a cushion or something for someone, for a loved one maybe who's passed. Maybe you've got an old shirt or a t-shirt or something like that. This is another great way to have to create your own little keepsakes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim around my fabric just to get a little bit closer to the heat and bond, just again so when we cut on the mat I'm not potentially going to cut off the heat and bond. So again, fabric scissors, make sure you're using fabric scissors. And this is cooled down already, so we can move on to the next phase once I do this. Now normally I would go live on a Sunday as well. I won't be live this Sunday, but I am looking to get back into that routine from next week. So I'm really excited about that. And I really appreciate your patience while I've been getting myself good in the head. All right, so here we go. It's lovely and cool. We've got the paper on here. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to peel the paper off. So I'm just going to pick off a corner and make sure the glue stays behind. We don't want to peel the glue off. So we're just peeling off the paper part. And can you see it's a bit shiny now? Can you see that shine from the glue? How it's all melted on to the fabric there. So that's exactly what we want. So we'll just peel this off. And a couple of little stragglers there. Take those off just in case we cut into that area, but peels off very easily. And I think this is the part sometimes people get confused because they think that they cut it with the paper on, but you actually take the paper off first and then we cut it. Now hopefully you can see now that there's more structure. See, it's not as floppy now, so there's more structure. It feels heavier, it's a bit thicker, and that's exactly what we want. And now we'll get ready to pop that on the mat. So again, standard green mat. You could use a blue one as well, just make sure it is nice and sticky. I realized as well I didn't use my baking paper to protect my Easy Press, so I'll just check all good. Do as I say, not as I do. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this. I'm actually going to pop it into the middle of my mat, just because that's going to be easier for me, or just around the middle there. And I'll use my brayer just to smooth it on. Okay, now of course if you've got a directional fabric, it's not going to bother me because I've got polka dots, but if you've got a directional fabric, you want to make sure that you put it on the right way, or that you cut your design the right way up. Otherwise, it'll be sideways, upside down, you know, that sort of thing. But here we go, it's on there, it's nice and stuck, and we're going to get ready to cut. So we'll jump into Design Space. And where is Design Space? Here it is. Here's my design. It's just an M. I typed M into Images and Design Space, and this is the one that I liked after sort of scrolling through a few different ones. Let's move this over here as well. And my design is roughly 7 inches wide. So what's that? 14, 18 inches, 8.5 inches. So not too centimeters rather. So not too big. I've got to make sure that my Explore Machine 3 is selected on the top right, and then I'm going to click Make It. So off we go. Oh, and I've flattened that. So there you go. I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to change this to Cut. All right, and I'm going to click Make It. And because I'm using a smart machine, so the Explore 3, it's asking if I'm using smart materials or not. So I'm going to say on a mat, click Done, and then I am going to reposition my design just to match, making sure it's going to cut well on my mat. So I'm just making sure there. Yeah, I'm going to go down a little bit further just to be safe. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, there's heaps of room here. Okay, 3. Yep, so that's heaps. I've got heaps of room with this design, and I'm going to click Continue. Do you know, I have not crafted in so long, so it feels really, really good to be doing this. Just wait for my machine to connect. And of course it needs to do an update, so let's update the machine. So here we go. Hopefully this isn't going to take too long. Let me jump back into the main camera, and I'll check some of your comments while that's happening. I probably should have tested that before. Hey Celia, it's so good to see you, and happy Freedom Day Melbourne. Exactly. Erica saying she's got so much fabric and heat and bond, so you need to do this. You absolutely do. Get onto it. Deirdre, no worries, you watch the replay totally fine. Hey Daryl, good to see you here. Wonderful to see you all here. Let me just jump back. It's almost updated. We'll just go back into Design Space. I don't know if you've noticed, if you've got the latest update, but there's some really cool features now in Design Space in the way that you can look at projects and images and get inspiration for the holidays and things like that. So that's really cool, and that's really going to grow as we see things enhance as well. So much easier to find images, to search across all your images as well. So again, let me know what your feedback on that as well. So while I'm doing this, I'll move my machine, hopefully, so you will be able to see it in camera when the time comes. Have you got the mug press? What do you think? I think everyone's been really blown away by the mug press. It was mind-blowing when I did that first project. If you haven't seen it, it's on my channel. Here we go. Going to do the update. And boom. Yay! So we'll click Continue, and hopefully we'll connect. Choose my machine, Explore 3, and my base material. So we're going to choose bonded fabric. So if I browse all materials, and just in the search, I'm just going to type bonded. Oops, if I can spell. Bonded. Felt wool polyester bonded. Well, I'm going to choose polyester because it's just cotton. I would have thought cotton would have been there, but it's been a while since I've done this. But anyway, we'll click Done, and that just tells me to load. So let's go to the overhead, and I'll make sure I'll go to the main overhead. So hopefully, you can see the machine a bit better. So we're just going to put the mat under the guides. Now, if you're new to Cricut, just a little bit of pressure with your finger or your palm. Just curl it up a little bit when you hit the load button, and you'll always get the perfect load each and every time. Megan's saying she got the mug press but hasn't used it yet. Yay, this weekend. You'll love it. Alright, so we're just checking we've got enough materials with the mat, that it's large enough, and we'll wait for the play button to appear, and off we go. Jean's saying, good to see me back, good to be back, watch the replay for sure. We're just doing the cutting now, so hopefully this will work. Lynette's saying, Penny, check out another Harvey Norman. Yes, so if you're looking for the mug press, Harvey Norman's probably your best bet at the moment. So give them a call or go into your local store and just see what they've got available. All right, so I'm just going to test to make sure that this actually did cut. And it did, so we'll eject. And I'm just going to move my machine out of the way. All right, so let's have a looky-loo. Let's go to the overhead, the split camera. Okay, so we've cut it out. Now we'll just peel off the excess that we don't want. As you can see, it's cut beautifully. And there we go, there's our M. So we're almost there. It's so exciting. So let me move this out of the way as well. All right, so here's our M. Now we're just, of course, we're going to take that off the mat. Now, what I might do is just use my spatula because I don't want to catch any loose threads or cause it to some stray threads to appear. That Ultra Bond as well will kind of hold that together as well, so you shouldn't have any issues, but just take your time, peel it off. And then we're almost done. It's so easy. I'll just get this off. So don't rush. There we go. And the mat is lovely and clean as well. So there's no stray threads or anything like that. No fraying. So we'll just pop our cover on our mat. Okie doke, so we've got our M, so I'll pop that to the side. And now what we'll do is we'll get our blank. So here is my bag, and this is just going to be like, it could be a library bag, just a little, general bag for my niece. I might put it up a little bit high towards the handles, but not too far. All right, so there's my Easy Press mat. I'm just going to heat this up a little bit, just to make it nice and warm. Just like you would with your iron-on as well. Okay, and then we'll position our letter or your design where we want it. Again, making sure the glue side is down. So I might just put it down just around the handles. I think about there. Making sure it's aligned with the handle. Move it over a little bit. All right, now this is just 6 seconds, all right? But I'm going to do it for probably about 8. Actually, we'll go, I think actually that is good. Happy with that. All right, so let's do it. So we'll put our baking paper on just in case some of that glue seeps out to the side. And here we go. And I'll start the timer. So go. Just a little bit of pressure. So normally 6 seconds, we can do a couple of extra seconds, that's totally fine. We'll lift that up. And there we have it. It's applied on the bag and I can wash it. Again, if you were going to put on something, it's hard to see there. If you're going to put it on something that is going to be washed all the time or heavily used, then, zigzag around it, do a blanket stitch. But that is now lovely and applied. And that's how easy it is. If you've got any questions, of course, pop those in the comments. Reminder that next week, again, Natalie will be live at 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time on the Cricut for Australians Facebook group on Thursday, if I didn't mention that. And she's going to be making a Christmas card. And then I will be definitely live next Sunday, so not this Sunday, but the following at 11. I go live at 11, right? 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time as well. And that's normally every Sunday. And again, you can come along, we'll do a project, but you can ask me absolutely anything that is Cricut related. If I missed any of your comments, I'll go back and answer those as well. But really appreciate you guys joining me. I've missed you all, and it's great to be back. So thanks for tuning in, and have a wonderful night. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.